yeah, I think everyone needs multiple streams of income. And so it's super important. I can't imagine not having that, because the security you get, the feeling you get of confidence, of like financial confidence when you have that. One could take a dive 1 month or have a rough month, and yet you're still good. You're still able to make good decisions in life, because it's really tough. I've been there many times where you have decisions in life, financially or business or family, and if you're stressed about finances, you're not really making the best decisions typically. It's a very stressful point of view to come from. So really important to get your financial side of your life in check, so that you can live a great life.
You have to begin by being rich and wealthy in your mind before you become rich and wealthy in life. The real purpose of financial wealth is for you to be able to finance your personal mission for your life. It's your freedom money.
We're here with Cesar, and Cesar, we just spent the last 25 minutes or so talking about opportunities within your business. And I'd love for you to kind of just share with our friends that experience.
Well, it is amazing that you guys reach out to just talk about my business and make me realize what I'm probably missing and what should just keep doing or keep growing and expect on my business in terms of growing in the future. I feel like for new agents, it is important to have these conversations so your mindset is in place and you get motivated every day to just keep going.
Awesome. Thank you, Cesar.
That was well said.
Mentorship and coaching is so important because if you think about it, our entire lives we have had coaches, teachers, people who help us grow, and it should be absolutely no different with business.
You can almost overdo it at KW. So we have our initial coaching program that you join as a new agent, which is productivity coaching. We also have growth coaching, advanced coaching, and then Keller Williams offers MAPS coaching, international training. So you could be in training and in class every day of the week if you really wanted to.
And whether their goal is 100 transactions a year or they're more focused on lifestyle and fueling whatever it is that they're trying to do with their life, we have coaching that is tailored to whatever they need to grow their business.
So how does an agent make their business more profitable? Well, I think the first thing you need to do is you need to have a plan.
Understanding the fact that we have certain revenue goals, well, we can't have those goals and reach those goals if we don't understand what our expenses are and creating that net income.
Have a plan, keep an eye on the numbers, and then just keep redirecting every time you think you're off course, or just keep checking in.
Because at the end of the day, I can show you many agents that do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of transactions every year, but their expenses equate the amount of money that they bring in. We want to change that conversation. We want to change the conversation to it's what you take home at the end of the day. That's what matters to us.
I sit back and reflect on my time with Keller Williams Realty Centers. I can see how much I've already continued to grow, and the people around me and the people that I've met here and the journey and trajectory that they're on, that I'm building a life that I've never imagined for myself.
Over the last 10 years of being in real estate, I can honestly say that these last 2 years have put me in a place where I can create my life for myself and my family that I didn't even know was possible.
we are. Merry Christmas, everybody. Well, it's pretty close to Christmas. Colin, my man, how are you?
I'm fantastic, Gary. That was such a fun introduction. Loved it. There was a lot of information here, and I'm glad we highlighted the family reunion. We're getting a lot of texts already. People wanted to know, hey, I don't want to miss out on prices. How do I get my family reunion tickets? So this is amazing. Great job there.
I love it. Yeah, family reunions coming up. An amazing team meeting is in store. We got lots of fun stuff to share with everybody, and love seeing the comments already come in. So here's what I want you to do. This is an interactive session, and as people that are talking today and presenting and sharing, chime in with the comments. A shout out to your colleague or a shout out to the office, whatever that looks like. Let's have some fun with the team meeting. And we do have some awesome stuff to share today. And here's the really, really cool thing. This is absolutely amazing. So what was announced last month, last couple of weeks at Keller Williams International is this. Colin, this is outstanding. Check this out. Yes, you are reading that right. KW Sports and Entertainment Division. What does this mean, Colin? Talk to us about this.
This is a division strictly us where you're dealing with sports figures and celebrities. We know when any celebrity or any sports figure is buying a home, they're looking for somewhat of anonymity as well. They want it quiet. They want it on the DL. They don't necessarily want you posting, here, I'm buying this home with Drake. That's none of that. So just like we have a commercial division, we're getting a luxury division, a new construction. Keller Williams is moving into sports and entertainment, where they're specifically targeting celebrities.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome. I know I didn't mention it a lot or at all, but when I did sell Drake's house, it was an amazing experience. Wait, that might not be true. Anyways, no, this is good. And I know you've had some experience in this line of business, or niche, I should say. And it has, and I know you shared with me, it is an amazing experience. And what a great value opportunity for you as an agent and to help your clients that have, inroads into this niche, if you will, right?
Absolutely. And we know in the US, they do it the thought comes to mind, everything is bigger in Texas. But you know how they do it in the US, where, they're representing a lot of sports figures. How do we bring that market here to Canada? How do we bring that to Keller Williams Realty Center specifically? So that is what we're looking at doing as a brokerage. So we're going to be getting some more information. This information was dropped this Monday or last Monday, I think. So this is something that we're going to be getting as much information as possible so that we can bring to our agent partners.
I like it. I don't know if Mary is insinuating something. Perhaps we should be working with more hockey players, or that's who she's got a crush on. I don't know, but it's all good. It's all good. So what I want to do over the next couple of minutes, we're going to transition into something that we feel very strongly about, and that's our mission moments here at KWRC, and sharing amazing stories as well as amazing opportunities for you and us, our agents and business, to give back to the community. So I'm going to invite Stephanie Sauve to come on screen with us. And hey, Steph, how are you?
Hey guys, how's everyone?
Fantastic.
Yeah, we are doing amazing, absolutely amazing. I'm going to hand this part of the meeting over to you, Stephanie, and I'll let you introduce our guest, and I'll bring her on as you do that.
Okay, awesome. Guys, I'm so excited to share with you that today we are actually going to be rolling out and kicking off being part of the Holiday Heroes campaign with the York Regional Police to give back. If any of us remember, we were part of this initiative last year as well. And as a result of how great we did, we were asked if we could help again this year. And because KWRC is full of culture, it made sense for us to join this initiative again in giving back to so many families. In the past, I know that a lot of us were part of doing it inside schools, but now we can give even further through all of York Region, because our offices are in York Region and we want to make an even bigger impact than just one small area. And the best way to be able to give to over 130 families in need is through the York Regional Police and the Holiday Heroes Drive. So I'm here to present to you that we are kicking this off as of today. You'll see in our offices, we already have bins set up ready for you guys to help us. And we can't do this by ourselves. We need everybody on board. A lot of us do our own missions and we have our own things that we do in our communities, but this is a way that we can do this as a common ground with all of us together, in addition to what you're doing as well. But this is something that we can do as a group. And last year, I think we raised $5,000 worth of toys and gift cards that we were able to hand out in the community with the police for people in need. And this year, we're going to top that for sure with the amount of agents we have. I'm going to introduce you guys to Carrie Rutledge. She's with the York Regional Police. She's amazing. And she is our contact, and she is the coordinator of this amazing mission, her and her team. So I wanted Carrie to jump on here and basically just tell us how our participation will impact our community and what they're looking for from us this year. Hey, Carrie.
Thanks, Steph. Hi, Stephanie. Thanks so much. Thanks for inviting me. This is a way to do staff meetings. My goodness, this is incredible. What a great setup.
Gary might be up for hire with the YRP. We'll see.
So thanks again for inviting me on and being part of the campaign this year. So I guess I can just give you a run through of an overview of the entire campaign. So this is the 25th anniversary that of the Holiday Heroes campaign. It was rebranded. It used to be called the Toys for Tots campaign when it first started, and it was rebranded in 2007, where we rebranded it to the Holiday Heroes campaign and changed our charities of choice as well. So at that point, we then partnered with the Salvation Army. Yeah. And 5 years ago, we then added Victim Services of York Region. So those are our two charities. So through Victim Services, as you mentioned, we support 130 families that are in some pretty dark times in their lives. They are unfortunately dealing with just unideal circumstances where they have been a victim of crime and are looking. They need some support. So whether they've had to leave their house and everything behind, or I mean, even something as simple as a house fire, even where they've lost everything. Victim Services gets them involved with the proper community supports, and once they're identified that financial need is there as well, we then look for community partners such as yourselves to then help out and support families. So we do piece that off and support families, and then we augment packages with general donations that we receive from the community members.
And I think, Carrie, just to let everybody know, like, I think you mentioned that you've seen like a 300% increase in need from March of 2020.
Yes. Yeah, that's just with Victim Services alone. And I know Salvation Army has met with the same growth. But yeah, since the pandemic hit March 2020, it's been a 300% increase in calls for service for Victim Services, which is heartbreaking.
Of course. And we want to help. So what are some ways? I know that, they can, if somebody wanted to donate monetarily, they could online. Yeah. I know gift cards last year, a lot of us decided to do gift cards, so we can do that again this year. And I think you were saying that the teenagers are needing a lot of help as well.
Yeah, so and those are exactly the three voids. So any monetary donations we receive, we do use to augment packages. And as you mentioned, we also end up buying gift cards for families. This year, more than ever, and I've never seen it before, the need for, of course, the price of gas is through the roof.
Right.
I have never seen the price of, or the number of requests for gas gift cards than I have this year. So gift cards are a great way. It's a great initiative, or a great way to for everyone to take part. Groceries, Walmart is just a great go-to because then they can get anything. So whether it's clothing, diapers for their babies, or groceries. So Walmart is always a great gift card to do. And then, as you mentioned, the teens and tweens are always a gap. It's always fun to go out and buy that little toy for a young child.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah,
and everything right down. So puzzles that are more difficult, 500, 750,000 piece puzzles, board games that families can play together, electric razors for young men, just all of those things that for the most part, everyone takes advantage of, and not, you wish that everyone had them, and they don't.
So that's really great, Carrie. Thank you so much. I'm actually going to be sending out a letter, like our group will send out a letter to all of our agents who are on this call. You'll all receive an email after our meeting today with a list of suggested items that we can help with. And then we'll take any donations that we receive until December 16th. And then we're happy to bring them to you to distribute throughout the communities and for victims in need. So thank you so much, Carrie, for joining us today.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you to everyone involved and everyone that makes a donation. We really appreciate it. And your support means the world to us.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Steph. Thank you for everyone for leading this initiative. And more importantly, thank you for your involvement, because obviously there's such need out there, and our agents, I know, stepped up to the plate last year, Steph and Carrie. We're excited and we're honored to be able to help in this initiative as well. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you.
Very good. All right, Colin.
That was powerful. That was very powerful, because we know in real estate, and right now people are having record-breaking years, right? In real estate, as our real estate partners, we know we're making a lot of money in the industry. However, we know due to COVID, a lot of people are hurting. And to hear that there's a 300% increase, that is heartbreaking. So anything we can do to support this, and I'm proud to say, as a brokerage, we're going to be, doing our darnest to support and give back to the community. So, Steph, Carrie, thank you for that. Gary, of course, you're always.
Very good. Very good. Well, in keeping in tune with our mission moments here, Colin, there's somebody that we got to recognize for her tremendous service to our brokerage, our agents. Not only is she so, what's the word I'm looking for? In tune and passionate. That's the word I'm looking for. Passionate about seeing our agents grow their business, but also about, seeing their lives grow as well, and what they can do in communities like such as this with the Holiday Heroes. But I wanted to give a shout out on many fronts to Jen Silbernagel. Jen and I have been working incredibly close together over the last couple of years. And as we all know, she is taking a little bit of a leave of absence because, well, she's gonna have a baby, which is really exciting. Exciting for them. It's good.
Sleepless nights for them.
Yeah. But I know from me, Jen, and I'm sure many of our agents are excited for you, but also a little sad because we won't see you as much. And I can tell you firsthand, as I consider you my business partner at KW, and it's always a pleasure to work right beside you. And you're so easy to work with, and you do so many amazing things for our agents, Jen.
Kudos to you, John.
Yeah. Very good. Lots of applause and nice comments coming in, Jen. Thank you. Very good. Well, let's kind of change topics here. And here's what we're going to do. Let's get back to our slides, Colin. And we got some welcomes to do here.
This is my favorite slide of our team meetings, by the way. Us welcoming new business partners to the brokerage. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and when Morgan Freeman's here, here's the applause somewhere. The applause are there. Yeah. Very good. Well, we do have quite a number of people joining us this last month, and Nyla, Daniela, Tanez, Nicole, Adrian, Gabrielle, good to see you come back, my friend. I love it. I love when people get to come back to our family, and Paulo and Michelle. And the last name that you see on there, Christine Casterly, she is our new front desk staff member in Newmarket. We're so excited and honored to be in business with you, Christine. A warm welcome. You are doing such an amazing job. There's so much to learn, and you're doing so amazing just being with us just for a few weeks. And some of you might have been wondering, hey, where's Hillary? Hillary is still with us, although she has decided to, move her career to work with one of our teams and actually obtain her real estate license. So we're excited for Hillary's growth as well, and we wish her all the best and success there, but she's still around and she's still with us. And as we welcome Christine and everyone else, reach out to us, and whether it's in the comments here or on the Facebook channel, drop into the office, come say hi for sure. Very good. Okay, moving on. Command update. So a lot of us love Command. A lot of us have learned to love Command over the last couple of years. And one of the things that always comes up is the Kelly app. Well, I can tell you the Kelly app is being updated with a brand new app. Now, I have not had the privilege to have it firsthand. However, many of my colleagues have, and they love it. They rave about it. We're going to watch a quick video on what that app is going to entail and the launch of it. Beautiful. So as you can tell and see, there's lots of things and people do rave about it. And some of the best users of Command are saying how great it is. And that will be launched very, 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 very early in December. It's ready to go. They're just making sure that the platform is set. And I can tell you, being able to do all those things with your phone is going to be such a game changer. So pretty cool stuff. The other thing I wanted to highlight here too, Colin, and some of you may not know this, but once a quarter, Keller Williams International through Command will release a magazine, and we can use that, edit it, brand it ourselves, and send that out to our clients, whether it's in print form or digitally. And I've used it a few times. It is really, really easy to use. You go in, and the first thing you want to do is personalize it, just like with any marketing material. That's what Mary Furnell would tell us, right? Is personalize it, and then use it. The second thing would be to actually use it. So that gets put in there at the beginning of every quarter, and go leverage that for sure.
What would that look like if we were to send that out to all of our clients with your own branding on it, right? So it's a great touch point. It's another reason for us to reach out to our clients. Sometimes as agents, we're wondering, what do we send out this month? Here's a great opportunity. Once a quarter comes out.
Love it. That's such a great idea. And that'll tie in nicely in what you and I are going to talk about in, a few segments from now. 22 ways to get 22 new listings in 2022. That's coming up. Very good. Very good. Awesome. Well, I'm going to introduce and bring onto the screen our very own Stevie Susie. Stevie, how are you today?
Hi, good. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
We're doing great. I'm going to hand this part over to Stevie, and Stevie's going to share with us, kind of what's on her mind lately and ways for us to look at our business a little bit differently. So over to you, Stevie.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. I wanted to talk to everyone today a little bit about leverage and the power of leverage, because that's really what the Keller Williams model is all about. And it's what our company is built off of. And it's really how we all should be growing our own businesses. And the reason why I wanted to talk about it today is because the real estate industry is getting younger. right? Like a lot of people are starting to choose real estate as a first career. It's getting younger and younger. We're seeing, 18, 19, 20-year-olds starting to study to get their real estate license. And with that, things are changing. I have spent the last, few weeks, I have interviewed with about 30 different agents, a lot of those being new agents to the industry and young agents. And the thing that I am noticing is that there is a huge emphasis, like a huge, people are very, very interested in real estate teams more than ever. I think a lot of agents are now, as the real estate industry is getting younger and a new generation of realtors is starting in the business, there is a lot more importance and they see a lot more value in being able to learn rather than, being so concerned about giving up a portion of their paycheck or whatever it is. And I feel like that was a common thing we used to see with teams, right? Finding good talent could be hard to come by because people get concerned with splits and all that sort of stuff and their commission. But I'm seeing more people that are seeing value in being able to really just learn and be the best realtor that they can be to start their career. And so the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because we have some great teams at KWRC. However, our brand is growing and we're getting agents all over the place. And we also know that not every team is always able to hire or is looking to hire. And you've got to find the right fits as well. We know that. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about leveraging. And if you are an agent, I know that we have quite a few agents at our brokerage right now that are probably at the point where they should start considering hiring out their first admin and kind of taking that step to grow their team. And I know that is a really scary thought. I know for a lot of agents, they're scared to take that plunge because it's the first time in their life they might become an employer essentially, right? And feel responsible for someone's salary and all that sort of stuff. So it can be really scary, but so much so to the point where they live in pain for longer than they should without leveraging, to the point where you might actually be losing business or turning down opportunities because you can't imagine putting any more on your plate, right? Or maybe you're just not having enough time with your family and stuff like that because your business is at its max at this point in time. So I know for sure we have a few agents that are probably in that boat. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention that there is some great talent coming through our door right now. And it is a really good time to start considering to maybe take that plunge and start growing at a team, because they're going to become more of a popular thing in the future. And so I just wanted to talk about a little bit as well, is not forgetting that, of course, making that hire, a good hire, is very, very important. And it's hard to do that. You might be scared. And a lot of us end up hiring, a friend or a family member or a friend's daughter who's part-time working, they need a job, whatever it is. And you don't necessarily always hire the best person, which can be scary. We have the tools here to help you leverage and help you find the right talent, right? We have the KPA. Do not forget about the KPA. If you're someone who doesn't know what it is, it's the Keller Personality Assessment, and it is a very powerful tool to use for hiring, not only for positions like admin, but even growing out your team, right? So we are here to help you with that, guys, and how to understand a KPA and how to really do that. And so I just pretty much to wrap this up, just wanted to say that there is some good talent that is coming through our door, and there's going to continue to be good talent coming through the door. And if you're at a point where you're starting to lose business because you're not leveraging enough, you're not utilizing the Keller Williams model at a high enough level. So let's talk about it, and let's get you, working towards being able to grow a team so that you can start having time back with your family while still making more money. That's pretty much it.
All right. I love that, Stevie. And a couple of things there I just wanted to circle back on is not just, I can't think of a different word, maybe because I'm getting older. I don't know. But our newer, don't laugh.
Remember?
Yeah. Don't laugh. Our newer agents, are they looking for an apprenticeship style or a way that they can, just observe and learn and kind of, osmosis in a sense, right?
Yeah. I'm seeing a little bit of both. Like I've definitely, a question that I've been asked a lot lately, it's come up quite a few conversations, is there someone that I can shadow? Is there anyone in the brokerage that would be willing to let me shadow them? So I definitely think there's a couple different things that can be worked out here. I know even Kirby's kind of growing at looking to grow at a team in a little bit of a different way as well, and kind of the way he's doing things. There's definitely some different things to explore there. Maybe it is growing at a team by the standard way. Maybe it is more of like bringing people on to shadow and work with in a bit more of a partnership before like a full team commitment. Like, I don't know, there's some options there that can be explored, but all I can say for sure is that newer realtors there's a lot more value for them in just learning and wanting to absorb and know as much as they possibly can. And again, if you look at, there's a part in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent where it says, Gary talks about how we're one of the only professions where we barely do any schooling or anything like that before we're allowed to just go out in the field, right? When you look at like the medical field, they have to practice for years and years and years before they can ever operate on someone or do something like that. As realtors, in a lot of cases, we would be better to start off by working to learn as opposed to working to earn, right? And that's kind of where I'm seeing things going right now. And I think it's a really positive thing.
Yeah, that's a really neat way to look at it. And I wanted to comment too here on, it can be a scary thought of thinking about hiring an admin if you've never done it before. And I know the two of us have chatted about this in the past, is in a sense, you're not hiring, of course, the goal and the intent is to hire them for the year and 2 and 3 and 4, but really we're hiring them on a 3-month basis. And it's up to you to get your business at a level where you require that so you can go increase your business. And I know, Colin, you've used the KPA. There's a strong word, relentlessly.
Relentlessly we use it. I think you should use the KPA even if you're just dating. You should use the KPA because it allows you to understand each other. But yes, we use the KPA relentlessly. Right?
Yeah, and give us the 60-second reason or backstory, Colin, of what the KPA does for you as someone that's hiring and building out a team and hiring TLs, for instance.
Yeah. Well, Stevie and Nathan, they can tell you they've gone through the process. It's falling in love with the process of hiring versus falling in love with a candidate. Once you start going through the process, talent rises, because a lot of the times we get caught up in the emotion. Okay, I need to hire this person. Oh, they look just like me. They act just like me. I want that person on the team. But for the role that you're looking for, an exact match to you might not be the right person for that role. And the personality assessment allows you to see what is the right personality and knowledge fit for that role as well.
Yeah, I love it. That's fantastic. Stevie, thanks for that insight this afternoon or at noon. Yeah, I guess it's this afternoon. Depends where you're watching. But we look forward to more of that, Stevie. Thanks again for helping out this afternoon.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Very good. So, Colin, the KPA is such a powerful tool, and I know I've used it as a team owner, and then on the flip side, I went through it when Marvin was hiring me a few years ago, and it not only reveals a lot of things to you as the team or the hiring personnel, but it also reveals a lot to you, the individual.
Absolutely.
Right? And it's powerful. It's definitely very powerful.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Well, I believe our next guest just came on, so we're gonna cue Omar up. And Colin, why don't you set this up? So let's just share the screen again here. And how do I do that? I can't remember. Full screen. Nope, that's Stevie. We'll get there. Don't worry. Okay. Something like this. There we have it. Talk to us. Actually, let's roll a video, and then we'll come right back to you.
Okay. I think wealth building is very important, and it should be priority for any one of our agents, mainly because it helps you build not just a massive life for yourself, but for the people in our community.
So at KWRC, we assist our agents in creating wealth a number of different ways. And one of the ways is actually, showing our agents through different training programs. We hold wealth seminars on how to analyze investment properties, investing in mortgages, investing, of course, in different real estate vehicles, outside of real estate too.
It allows you to not only make a lot of money, but also give a lot of money as well.
Beautiful. So, Colin, I know I know the video pretty much summed up everything you were about to say. However, talk to us a little bit about the importance from your perspective as we get Omar on screen here on why having, for instance, multiple streams of income and different avenues to generate wealth from.
And I think I've told the story many times. The goal for us as business owners is not to just have one stream of income, right? A lot of us, we buy and sell homes for our clients, and in most cases that is our only stream of income. And we ride that roller coaster where some months we're rich and some months we're poor. How do we create multiple streams of income where we're not just dependent on one real estate? How do we have investment properties? How do we invest in the stock market? And that is why Omar is here, because Omar is someone who's been in my circle now for the last 5 years. And they say you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Omar is definitely someone you want in your circle, because that short period of time, I've learned so much from him. And it's just an honor to now share Omar with the brokerage.
Yeah, beautiful. Omar, my friend, how are you? I'm sorry, we can't hear you. So as Omar gets that sorted out, I got to tell you, I met Omar. We did a podcast, Colin and I, a couple of years ago, with Omar as our featured guest. And since then, I got to tell you that my wife Michelle and I, our lives have changed because of getting that insight and adding Omar, in a sense, to our circle, as Colin eloquently had mentioned. Are you good with us, Omar?
Yeah, can you guys hear me now?
Absolutely. That's fantastic. So here's the best part. I'm going to tell you how it's changed our lives after Omar spends the next few minutes here talking about what he brings to the table and how he looks at generating wealth. Omar, my friend, over to you.
Thank you, Gary, and thank you, Colin, both for having me on. Guys, I wanted to give you an idea of what I do and what my background is. As Colin was saying, a lot of times real estate agents, they have one source of income, and that income is very dependent upon the real estate market itself. All right. So what I'm saying is have multiple streams of income. I'm going to show you how to develop another stream of income. I'll tell you about my story. So I grew up in an immigrant household in the Mississauga area. My parents didn't have a lot growing up. They always worked hard, and they were both educated. They both had university degrees, but they were both financially illiterate. So as I grew older, went to high school, I learned nothing about financial literacy there. What I mean by financial literacy is how the hell do I make my money grow? I learned nothing in the high school. I went to the University of Toronto, got an economics degree. I was a horrible student, but I also learned nothing about growing my money. And the reason I look back as an adult, I'm like, why was I such a bad student? Well, the main reason is because they didn't teach me something that was relevant to my life. The only thing I wanted to know was, how do I get my family out of a position where we're in now, and how do I get them into a much better position? That's all I really cared about. And that's not taught in school. So I got an economics degree. I started working, and I started building up my stock portfolio. I started trading in 1998, long time ago, my last year of university. So I started trading. I started building up my portfolio. And 2008, 2009 happens. You have a huge market correction, a crash, the global financial crisis. And from that, my stock portfolio went down significantly. And I wasn't really worried about it, because as long as you invest in good stocks, I believe they'll always recover. So that happened, but it made me realize that I will never ever invest in one asset category again. So in 2008 and 9, that was a horrible event. In 2010, I learned how to buy real estate, because I didn't know how to buy real estate. I had no idea. So I went and I bought, I had 37 properties. So from 2010 to 2017, I was able to accumulate a lot of properties, and I started selling some of them off last year as the prices got a little higher. But I made an absolute killing. I started buying in Hamilton in 2010 because I was educated on how to do it. Remember, I'm a stock guy. I'm not a real estate person. I learned how to buy real estate the right way, and I created a sizable real estate portfolio for myself, which I still have to this day. Okay, now the question is, how did I make this real estate portfolio? How did I get enough money without a job to buy so many properties? That's a pretty reasonable question. Well, what I do is I sell stock options. A lot of you guys are probably familiar with it, right? So what I do is I get paid a lot of money just for agreeing to buy stocks I want to buy anyways. I'll give you an example, okay? First, I'll give you a real estate example, and then I'll give you a stock example, okay? A real estate example. Let's say we go to Fantasyland, Ontario, and we find a triplex for $1 million, okay? $1 million. Now, we look at this triplex and we look at the numbers, we look at the rent in each unit, we look at, okay, can we evict some of these tenants out, or maybe incentivize them to leave, renovate? Can we increase the rents and thus increase the value of the building? That's the idea, right? Now we say to ourselves, yeah, you know what? We think we can do this. We think the building will be worth 1.05 million a year from now. We can get a couple tenants out, not even put any money in ourselves. In a year from now, we think the building will be worth $1,050,000. Okay, fair enough. So it's worth $1 million today, and we think a year from now it'll be worth $1,050,000. Well, instead of buying that building for $1 million, what if we just told the homeowner, hey, homeowner, you know what? I agree with you. Your building's worth $1 million, but I'll take it off your hands for $975,000 for 1 month. Okay, I'll buy your building no matter what happens to the price. I'll buy it for $975,000. But in exchange for that, you're going to pay me $25,000 for the month. Now, what would the homeowner say to you? They would probably call the police, ask you to leave. It would not be a good situation. It would be very bad, in fact. It would turn ugly. You cannot do that in the real estate market. However, you can do this in the stock market. And most real estate investors, real estate people are not familiar that you can even do it. So I'll give you an example. So a stock like Tesla. Now, Tesla, and this is not meant to be stock advice, I think Tesla will be worth far, far more in the future, okay? It's currently trading at $1,100 a share. Let's see on that, roughly about that much today. Do you know if I just agree to buy it for $1,100 for 1 month? So if I just agree to buy it for the current price, I'm getting paid almost 7% for the month. And the worst thing that's going to happen to me is I own Tesla. That's it. So it's like essentially, to me, it's a free 7%. So what I did over the years is I took all these premiums and I built my real estate portfolio. Okay, and my real estate portfolio is now north of over $20 million. It was a little higher than that, but I took some up because I find more opportunity in the stock market right now, and I'm able to pull capital out and use it more efficiently there. So I have my real estate portfolio, which is positively cash flowing. The positive cash flow goes into my trading account, where I then agree to buy lots of stocks that I would buy anyways that I think will be worth more in the future. Okay. For that, I get paid a lot of money. I take that money every so often and I examine both asset categories. And I say, well, is there a better opportunity for me in real estate? Or is there a better opportunity for me in the stock market? And I allocate my money accordingly. Okay. Now, here's another thing. Now, just because you own a lot of real estate doesn't mean it gives you a lot of income. The income is poor in real estate. It's great for wealth accumulation, but not as great for income. All right. Now, that being said, how do we get the income to give us the lifestyle that we want? Well, trading gives you my income. Like, for example, if I agree to buy 100 shares of Tesla today, just for a month, until December 17th, not even a month, I get paid $8,000 US just for agreeing to buy Tesla for the current price. I don't mind buying it at the current price because I think it'll be worth a lot more. So if you're going to give me a free $8,000 for every 100 shares, that's a good deal for me. That's not meant to be stock advice. It's just telling you what I do. So with you guys, when you have incomes that are up and down, it is vital that you develop another income stream. Now, to me, the ideal income stream is trading, so that you're able to generate enough income. And I'll tell you, I'll be very frank with you. Maybe Colin and Gary can comment on this as well. Eventually, trading income, if your account is big enough, will be far greater than any houses you're going to sell. Okay, that's my personal opinion. Over a period of time, once you get good at it and you understand how it works. Now, that being the case, if you learn how to generate a nice side income, it'll allow you to absorb the leaner times a lot easier. It'll also give you the additional capital and the borrowing power from the banks to be able to buy additional real estate if you so desire. But the cool thing is, I'm saying you should learn both asset categories, because a good investor knows more than one asset category. They don't just understand one thing. If you only understand one thing, I guarantee you it's going to cause you problems eventually. Same thing that happened to me in the stock market. 2008, 2009, stock market went down over 50%. Now, of course, it did recover, and I had great stocks, so I didn't really care. But it was ugly while it happened. Now, the same thing. Don't think this can't happen on the real estate side. My point is, you have to develop other income streams. So today, I've got a large real estate portfolio. I've got multiple trading accounts. And that allowed me to open up Theta Trading. 2 years ago, we started Theta Trading. And the goal was to educate as many people as possible and give them the financial literacy and financial freedom that they desire. And the reason is because it's such a personal issue for me. I saw my parents struggle growing up. I saw them arguing constantly about money, and I hated it. And as I got older, I said, this is never going to happen to me. And to me, the solution that I'm presenting you guys, that to me is the best solution, because you can do it while you have a job. You can do it while you have a business that you're building up. It only takes 30 minutes a day to trade, and it can provide significant income. You can do it anywhere in the world. So to me, it's been an absolute life changer. I hope you guys understand perhaps why. I'm doing actually a Facebook Live demo at 2 o'clock today, like a live trading demo for any of you guys who are interested. Yeah, and that's my story. So we started Theta Trading 2 years ago, and since we started, you guys probably know a lot of people, Gary and Campbell, and Gary and Colin included. We've taught over 1,400 people. And you know why? Like I said, the reason I was able to start this business is because I didn't need to start the business. I was able to do something I love to do. And that's what I'm saying. That's what money is good for. Money is not good for buying stuff. Money is good for buying your freedom. And nobody in the world can take that away. That's a good stuff. So that's my story, guys.
I love it. I love it, Colin. And one of the things too that you and what resonated incredibly well with myself and maybe even more importantly, my wife, who's really conservative compared to where I am. Not that you take out the speculation from investing in the stock market, but you add a layer of research and you're looking at things from the conservative side, never the aggressive side. That's what resonated. That's what I loved. And I can sit here and tell you today that both Michelle and I went through Omar's course at Theta Trading, and Michelle, we're very, very fortunate. Omar, I've mentioned this to you in the past. She's been able to not go back to her full-time position and right and use the income from trading and options to supplement that. And you're right, it takes 15 to 30 minutes a day. So how cool is that? Because now we can live a life that we really want to desire, or that we desire, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's great. Your wife doesn't have to go back to work anymore. You know, that's great, because now you're able to replace that income. And this is what I'm saying. The most valuable commodity is time. So if you're able to buy your time, it's a maximum value. Like, what else can you ask for? You're not buying stuff. You're not buying a Lambo. You're buying your time. Far, far more important. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that, Gary.
This is the beauty about this is we are bringing this training to our brokerage December 8th, right? Oh, happy belated birthday, Omar. Yesterday was your birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So this is your birthday gift to now teach to our brokerage. So we're going to be setting this up as part of our Wealth Mastery Series Volume 2. It would be stocks and options trading, and that would be December the 8th. We're going to be putting out some promotions around that, so please stay tuned for that.
Colin, let me ask you a question. What has it meant to your life? Trading, because you were in our first class, September of 2019, when we had no idea if anybody wanted to hear anything we had to say or not. We just did it. We're like, oh, let's see what happens. So
and it started out, well, it started before that, just a group of us on WhatsApp just talking. And then a couple of years ago, we went out for dinner and we were like, why aren't you teaching this? And you were like, teach what? How do I do this? And it's like, you figure it out. And a year later, Omar and his partner got together and they built this. And this in itself is what is powerful. What is even more powerful is we had friends over a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about they wanted to get into stocks and you know, just buying stocks. And it was powerful to listen to my 15-year-old daughter talk about stocks and, you know, advice in how they should choose their stocks. She's basically saying, do you have an Apple phone? Do you have Apple TV? Do you have an iPad? Okay. Apple stocks sounds like it's a perfect stock for you, right? And just to listen to that. So it's not only changed my life, my kids are investing now.
Yeah, and we're also doing Theta Kids. And Theta Kids is free to all Theta members. And the reason we're doing that is because, again, I personally was the victim of financial illiteracy, and it drove me mental. If you look at the problems it causes in society, divorces, mental health issues, to name a few, and yet no attention is paid in school. None. They're like, you guys will figure this out on your own. Good luck with everything. Maybe you should go get a job. That's the general prevailing theme. And the goal of our company is to change that entirely.
So for any of you guys who are interested in the Facebook Live, I'm going to do a live demonstration at 2:00 today. Otherwise, on February 8th, I'm looking forward to teaching you all guys. The last thing I will say, as Gary and Colin know, I hope you guys take it seriously. It literally has the ability to change your life. Okay.
Beautiful. And Omar, how do we find you on Facebook? Simply your name. Is that the best way to do it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I have the link copied here. I don't know how to.
Oh, drop it into the comments there, and I'll make sure it gets on screen. And
I can only drop in the private chat. So
do that, and I'll copy it over. Thanks. Yeah. That's fantastic. So Omar, as always, a real pleasure to talk to you, and thank you for helping change so many lives and being incredibly passionate about it. Looking forward to connecting with you on the 8th as well. Thanks, man.
Sounds good, guys. On the 8th. Take care, guys. Take care. See ya.
Colin, there you go.
No, that's powerful. I'm really looking forward to this because this is a skill that I acquired 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Now sharing that with a brokerage so our agent partners can build and create wealth is the best thing that we can do as a brokerage.
Love it. Love it. Good stuff. So yeah, that Zoom link there, that's where you can connect with Omar. Fantastic. So what do we got here? Colin, what's going on with this? Let's give the people what they want. 22 ways to take 22 listings in 2022. That's a mouthful, but there you go.
There's a lot of 22s in there. So Gary and I attended a training earlier was it last week?
Yeah.
Last week. And it was a training just around taking more listings. And then after that training, we just started masterminding just ways we can bring back this information to the brokerage, right? So that is what this segment is about. Just sharing 22 ways and how you can take 22 listings in 2022.
There you go. Okay, so without further ado, we may go through these a little bit quick, but of course you can write them down, and we've always got the recording here. So number one, Colin, here's the first way. Let me remove that. Go ahead.
So the number one way is, or tip number one, start and complete your 2022 business plan. And more so, I would say start adding a social media component to that, a new technology component, and also a value add for your database. What value can you bring to your database? Is it a client event? So something of that sort. So social media strategy, new technology, embracing new technology, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook Live, whichever new technology is there, just plan to embrace that.
Yeah, and it's important. It doesn't have to be new to the industry, but new to you.
New
right?
to you.
Yeah. That's an easy way to look at it. Okay, number two.
Get listings from your database. Definitely now is the time reaching out to your past clients, thanking them for their service, thanking them for placing their trust in you, but also finding out, what are their real estate goals and how you can help somebody that they might know. Also, in addition to that, Gary, it's looking at your social media as your database, looking at Instagram as your database, looking at Facebook as your database. People you've never met physically, but today I met someone that Lori introduced me to. She's been a friend on Facebook for 8 years. Today we physically met. And she could swear she knows me. I can tell you so much about her, but the first time we met today. So people like that reaching out to on social media and just getting referrals from them as well, but coming from contribution at the same time.
Beautiful. And number three, fill your seller funnel with events. I love this one. And this is something that I used to do quite a lot. If you recall, when I was, before taking my role at KW, was hosting investor workshops, but it doesn't have to be investor workshops. It could be anything. Host events, right, Colin?
Host events. Absolutely.
Okay. Number four.
Step up your agent referral game. Now is the time, coming into the winter months. Let's start reaching out to agents outside of our brokerage, outside of the GTA, whether it's Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, whether it's Hamilton, whether it's Ottawa, whether it's Vancouver, outside of the country. to say, hey, I service this area. Who do you know? Right? We know a lot of successful agents. A huge part of agent referral is a contributing factor to their success as well.
Yeah, here's really quickly. Here's one of the biggest mistakes. I know this was mentioned at our workshop last week, but I've often thought this. When we were on one of those Facebook group pages and someone asked for a referral in Nantucket, wherever, and all of a sudden you see like 400 comments. Oh, I'm there. I know I've done this in the past. I know some of our agents. Forget commenting. Just pick up the phone, Google the phone number, and call that agent right away. Yeah. Trust me, you will be at that top of that list before you know it. So stop commenting, and the first thing you should do is Google that agent's phone number and call them. All right.
Yeah, I've done that so many times, and it always worked. Just Google that agent. Hey, I saw you're looking for an agent or someone to service your buyers in Newmarket. Just want you to know that we service this area. Would love the opportunity to work with you. And guess what? We're sending not only a 25%, you can see a 30%. We send you your referral fee and a nice gift.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know why I chose Nantucket.
Yeah.
Whatever. Is that from the movie or the show Wings? I don't know. In the comments, tell me yes or no. I can't remember. Okay, moving forward. Number 5, create a database formula. So I like this one, the 4-2-1 formula. So have your 4 mailers go out throughout the year, and then in the month, 2 phone calls, and then your client. Sorry, this is once a quarter in the client event too. It always comes back to providing tremendous amount of value to your clients. Moving on from there. Number 6, Colin. Oh, I'll take this.
Go with this because this one is a game changer.
Okay, Google Screens. This was the first time both Colin and I had heard about it, and it is different than Google Reviews because, in fact, it's driven by Google itself, meaning you can become a screened service provider by Google. And when you search up Newmarket Real Estate Agent or Nantucket Real Estate Agent, you want your name to be first. And how that happens is through Google Screened. It is incredible. Now, it's coming soon to Canada for realtors. I can tell you this, it's already here in Canada or Ontario for other service providers like your home renovations, plumber, electrician, all that kind of stuff, vet. Here's what I want you to do with it. Call those small business owners that you know that have an industry already that in the Google Screen and tell them about this because they will become top of Google just like this if they are a Google Screens client of Google's. And it's incredible.
From contribution where you're now reaching out to your electrician to say, hey, I just found out about this. I think you should jump on it because it'll rank you much higher. Now they see value. And the law of reciprocity, they're going to want to repay that kindness some way. They'll send you a referral.
Yeah. Okay, moving forward. This is good.
VIP client list or a VIP neighborhood or a Facebook group for a neighborhood. If you're door knocking, let's say East Gwillimbury, right? We know there's a lot of teams in our brokerage that does that. Why don't we create a Facebook group for those people there? And you're just sharing information. Once a month, probably you pull up local stats of sales in the area, but that is your contribution as a real estate agent in that group. You're managing the group. The business will come to you.
I love this one. Identify a charity and or nonprofit group and support them. Just like the Holiday Heroes, get behind that because we know, and I've mentioned this before, I mentioned this yesterday, the business owner or the individual or the agent that is out there supporting their community, it comes back in many, many different ways, right? So support your local charity and get behind it and so forth.
Well said.
Number 9, Colin.
Identify a new farm area or implement hybrid farm. So again, you're farming, Stonehaven. Why not look at expanding that area? Right? We can look at East Gwillimbury or a pocket in Stouffville. So it's just creating somewhat of a hybrid farm area as well. A lot of us work in Newmarket, but we live elsewhere. So farm both areas.
Yeah, I love this one. Master video and copywriting and social media. So everyone knows I love video. However, my copywriting or my writing is suspect. Thanks to Lori and others for helping me out there. But I just found a new app. In fact, yesterday. It's called Rewrite. and it'll take a sentence and rewrite it for you 3 or 4 different times. So that's rewrite, and it is fantastic. I was using it and trying different things with it, and it allows you to present your words in a different way, and it is phenomenal. So use that app. Is pretty cool.
I just made note of that. I'm going to go look for rewrite.
There you go. There you go. Moving on. Yep. Number 11.
Subscribe to a referral site or a Facebook group. We mentioned the Facebook group already. There's a lot of referral sites out there where, you know, we'll send you a seller, we'll give you 20% or send us 20% referral fee. Why not sign up for all of them, right? So take advantage of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 12, update your seller value proposition. I love this. Update it. Use whether it's new images or new information, and send it to, if you sent your value proposition to somebody 3 or 4 years ago, send it again, update it, because I'm sure many, many things have changed, but more importantly, perhaps their mindset and where they are in life has changed as well, right?
Absolutely.
13, Colin.
Track your business numbers. We know at Keller Williams, you know, we it's important to track your numbers, track our conversion rate or so on. There's a lot of services out there where we are able to track our numbers. So know on how many contacts to appointment, how many appointments to signed listing, how many signed listings to sold. It's also in command. Let's utilize it. And most importantly, now that you're planning for 2022, look at the last year to see where a lot of your business came from, and now start investing more time in that area.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Yeah. Create the 5-star review program. And there's many services out there that'll help you do that. Use that to your leverage, because this will identify 2 things: who your raving fans are, and also how you can improve as a service provider from that perspective. 15, Colin.
Utilize a text or video campaign to your niche, your database. There's a lot of new services coming out there. Obviously, there's bomb in email, but there's some new services where you can send, you know, video text, whether it's in WhatsApp or for the iPhone users, whatever iPhone users use. But there's a lot of video messages that we can use. Let's start utilizing that, because people will now see your personality and they fall in love with you.
Yeah. I love this one. Get new role play accountability partners, or join or create a mastermind. So if there's not a mastermind that you can become a part of, create it. Don't wait for one to show up. Go create it. And I got to tell you, like the role play and the accountability thing, you know, we talk about this in Ignite and in Bold. And the more you get to practice on your peers, the better it is, because you don't want to be practicing on your clients.
Absolutely.
18, Colin.
Promote your buyers and sellers success story. A lot of the time, taking it further than, you know, a 5-star review. You know, you're in multiples. You've shown your clients, you know, 20 homes, and they finally got the home of their choice. Now, let's promote that as a success story. Let's put it out on social media. Because now buyers are going to be in the same boat who are considering buying, and they're going to realize that ex-agent at Keller Williams, you know, they were able to buy within 3 weeks of searching, when every other agent is telling them there isn't enough inventory on the market and it's impossible to get to win in a listing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Share those stories. There's nobody better to tell the story than your client.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Know your conversion numbers, know your appointment set, the appointments that you've gone on, and more importantly, the appointments that you signed, because what'll happen is if you're going on enough appointments, there's going to be people or opportunities that you weren't able to convert. Find out why you weren't able to convert them and figure out how to convert them for the next time, or maybe that opportunity is still out there. Because if you don't know your numbers, if you don't track your success, how can you achieve that success or that goal that you're after, right?
In addition, I would even, you can even circle back to all the people that you've done a listing presentation on this year. Some of them might sold and have gone with someone else. Some of them might have just changed their mind. So just reach back out to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like this too, Colin. Get listings from client referrals. Go for it.
This is a beautiful tip. tidbit here, because we know the honeymoon period, when we list a home, they're super excited. When we sign the listing, they're super excited. The moment there's an accepted offer, they're super excited. The moment it closes, they're excited. So use 7 days from those
dates
base period to just ask for referrals, because this is when they're telling more people about you.
Yeah, don't ask for a referral when you just had another deal fall through. That's not when.
No.
Ask for when you just highlighted one of these options here. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think this is kind of a hidden gem that not a lot of agents, we think about doing it, but we never put it into action. Send an updated CMA to your clients. They may not even be thinking about selling, but it's always important to know the valuation of your home. You might have helped them purchase a home 6 months ago or 6 years ago. Send them the update. It can be just a 1-pager or a 2-pager, because we always say it, Colin, if you're not talking to your database, to your clients,
somebody else is. And just a quick personal story. Last year, we sent out one to our clients basically saying, I know you're not thinking of selling. However, I want you to be updated with what your biggest asset is worth. They had purchased a home in Woodbridge 5 years ago. And the husband called. He's like, damn you, Colin. The wife saw it, and she realized how much her home is worth. She wants to move. That transaction was $3.5 million. The 2 transactions, the buy and the sell. And it was just from an email like that.
Yeah, I love that stuff. I love it. I'll tell another story how I sent a picture and it turned into 3 transactions. Just a picture of a floor. Identify which events. I love this. Look at this. Identify which events you will attend to improve your skills.
Yes.
Now, Colin, there's a pretty good event coming up in February, wouldn't you say?
There's February, and it's for a couple of days in February. So we know family reunion is a massive event. We know where there's a lot of big hitters that are going to be there. Some of the experts in the industry, they're going to be talking. So if this is a part of your growth plan, it should be a part of your growth plan. Attend family reunion. It'll change the business.
Yeah, I'm going to be bold enough here to say, Colin, that I think of all of our agents in our entire organization, this needs to be part of your business plan. And yes, you can be there in person, and alternatively, you can be there virtually. And the content is fantastic. I know when we've gotten to go and be in person, it's almost like 2 experiences. One, going through and learning and being educated. And the other piece is creating lifetime friends within their brokers and outside of our brokers, because you do get to spend a lot of time together, and more importantly, create relationships and build upon business ideas and things like that. It will definitely motivate you for 2022. In fact, we got a little video here from KWRI to highlight it. I like that song. I wish it was longer. Very good. So take advantage of family reunion coming up, whether it's in person or online. It is definitely worth it. And you will, not only will you learn a lot, but you'll create some pretty amazing ideas for your business and moving forward. Awesome stuff. Colin, that kind of wraps us up for the 22 ideas. I like it. Thanks, my man.
Thank you.
Okay, moving forward, we couldn't do and host online events like this or in-person events without our in-house mortgage team, Charity, and her team from Hometown Financial. We're so thankful to have them at our side, helping us attract clients, helping our clients close on properties, refinance properties, and help educate us from that perspective. Charity sent me some highlights of what's happening right now in the mortgage industry, and she's got variable rate promos as low. That's right. There's a 0 in front of that number, 0.99 for insured mortgages. So reach out to her, get some more information of what that could mean to your clients. Next, I like this. Products for agents that will look at gross income. We always talk about, what our NOAs are and what that bottom line is on the NOA, or what we net, what we brought home. But there's some products out there that will look at things a little bit differently, and reach out to Charity for that one as well. And lastly, we know that rates are going to be reviewed in December, and quite frankly, we don't have the crystal ball, neither does Charity. What does that look like? And meaning the qualifying rates, will they reduce that a little bit? So we're not talking about the rate of what you're going to get your mortgage at. We're talking about the qualifying rate, which is typically a few points higher than what your actual rate is. So we're all interested to see what that happens. And quite quickly, I shared a story on KWRC TV yesterday with Jen about the rates, and economists like Benjamin Tall talking about, yes, we're definitely going to see rates increase perhaps 8 times over the next 24 months. And what's that going to look like? Well, here's the really, really interesting thing. When he was talking about it, and this is just a couple of weeks ago, and I'll dig around and see if I can share that same article. He talked about the people that are going to renew their mortgage in a couple of years. When they took their mortgage 3 or 4 years ago, it was at a rate here. And as the rates increase, the new rate that they will take will most likely be at the same or less than what they currently are. So there's a whole segment out there where as people come to renew their mortgage, it may not even factor into their current mortgage rate. In fact, they might end up paying less. So yes, while the mindset's out there that we're going to be having rate increases, there's people that own and have mortgages right now that are paying, maybe high 3s or even that 4% because they took a mortgage 3-4 years ago. And there's that mindset too. So it's just a matter of understanding the facts and peeling that onion away and understanding what's happening with that. So yes, reach out to Charity. She can help with our refinances, which is incredibly important, especially when we have tremendous amount of equity in homes, and look for opportunities to leverage that. As Marvin always says, I'm staring at him right now. You've worked incredibly hard to pay down that mortgage and that house. Now it's time for that house to work hard for you. That's your line, Marv. I'm not stealing it. Thumbs up. Okay, all good. My friend Nathan, I'm going to bring Nathan on the screen, and I'm happy to have Nathan here. And here we are as I get this all set up. Nathan, you're going to talk to us today about community and what that means, and how we can not only leverage that, but benefit from that. I'm going to hand it right over to you, my friend.
Perfect. Well, I first want to point out this awesome wall I have in the background. Best backdrop ever. There's a coat hanger, I think. Anyways, yeah. So I had an interesting conversation with someone the other day. We were talking about iBuyers and real estate going online and how this is going to affect our whole real estate world. And this will get to community, I promise. And the interesting thing is, a few years ago, or many years ago, banks actually ran into the same problem we had, but they embraced it. Banks had these cool things called ATMs, and it meant you get to bypass the entire service of talking to a person, waiting in line. You go to an ATM. So they were pushing everybody to the ATM. And then the next thing they came out with is like, well, we don't even need them in the branch. We can just put them online. So the internet came out, and they started pushing everybody to online, thinking this was a good thing. They were going to save money, and they were going to save time. The weird thing that ended up happening, though, is the sense of community. Human beings are community-driven beings. We like to be with other people. We like to build relationships. So all of a sudden, say RBC pushed everybody to online, and they're the big example I'm going to use. And all of a sudden, CIBC is like, hey, we're going to offer you a free toaster. And everybody was like, well, I've been with RBC for like 50 years, but you know what? I haven't seen them. I never hear from them. There's no community. So I'm going to go get myself a free toaster. And then they go to CIBC, and they're online there. And the Scotiabank is like, hey, we got a free iPad if you come join us. And they're like, hey, that's really awesome. So I'm going to go get a free iPad. And loyalty was lost completely to the brand, right? And this is something I want to compare. We look at iBuyers. We look at online brokerages. Loyalty is lost to a brand because there's no sense of community. Now, to combat this, RBC is doing something kind of pretty cool, and I think other branches are beginning to follow. If you want to go open up an account at RBC, it's almost like walking into a Starbucks now. They actually have these nice little tables and chairs and comfy everything. They bring you a coffee, and they create this community experience. And so far, last time I chatted with an RBC manager about this, it's actually increased the productivity in the branches. It's increased brand loyalty. and people are no longer leaving, even though they are not the cheapest out of all the banks. And so I kind of want to share this story. I see this happening in the real estate world, and I think we have an opportunity right now to really take advantage of this, because we have online brokerages and online services that really you need nothing in person. And we have a lot of bigger companies that are getting rid of that personal experience for their clients, which means they're willing to switch at any time. They're no longer creating loyalty to their people, which is an opportunity for you. So as you go into your business, I want to do this twofold. Number one, when you start going to your clients, start creating community groups. We just talked about taking listings through social media as a part of the 22 steps. Build a social media group for your clients that you can connect with them, that you can build a community around it. One of the projects I'm starting to work on for our team is I find that clients are always trying to sell their stuff online, and I always have other clients that are looking to buy stuff. Like this guy bought a house, they're trying to sell a stove, this client needs a stove. So I'm now creating a community connecting all these people together, and when they're ready to sell, they end up calling me. And for the team members that are out there, or for the team leaders, I should say, that are out there, the same thing is going to happen with your administration staff, with your buyer's agent. People don't care. Okay, fun stat: 5% of people will buy something or do something because it's the most expensive. 15 because it's the absolute, 10 because it's the absolute cheapest. 85% of people will do whatever they do based off of value. The problem is when we're all giving the exact same value, then it looks like it's a price issue and not a value issue. Creating community is a huge value gain. What allows you to charge top dollar is what allows you to bring on the best buyers agents, the best listing agents, the best admin staff, and keep them for long periods of time without having to constantly increase their wages or increase all the benefits. So that was just kind of, I don't know, I think I had 5 minutes. I said that all really, really quickly. But I just wanted to share this conversation and kind of the outcome that came out of it when it was the aha moment of building the community around my clients and keeping the clientele going. So,
Nathan, I love it. And we often don't look at it from, how can my client benefit that client, right? And creating that community. So it's one of those things that it's common sense, yet we tend to overlook it all the time, right? So I love it. Thanks, my man.
And just quickly, I want to say it's very fascinating because now that I'm starting to think about this, you also see I had a debate between the Apple and the Google phones, for example. Google typically makes a really awesome product, but Apple has this crazy following. But if you go to the Apple store, you feel like awesome. They like line you up, they bring you in, they have a one-on-one person, you're not at a countertop. That's creating a sense of community around it.
Yeah, great visual. All right, Nathan, thanks again. All right, Colin, we got some good stuff happening here. We got to celebrate our agents and the amazing achievements over the last month, and let's get to it. So first off, we got to celebrate Lisa Brocklebank for capping this past month. Big thumbs up to you, Lisa. Awesome stuff. We love seeing our agents cap, and the best thing is, you get to do that going forward, and our agents are achieving some pretty amazing things. The next thing that I love celebrating too, we need some music behind this. I said that the last time.
Yeah.
How about Christmas? Congrats to Belinda, Farhan, and Natalie on your first closings. Always a good thing. And of course, new listings, Natalie, Michelle, and Stacy. Congrats to you guys. It's always awesome. We're looking for many, 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 many more from you guys. Closed units. This is for our top individuals in October. Gail, Paul, Drew, Dina, Michael, Allison, Leslie, Stuart, Ryan, and yes, Vincent Bongard. Yes, they are all tied for fourth. That's not a typo. There's a lot of awesome stuff happening this past month. Written business. This is the business you're going to have show up in a month or two. Paul Ireland, Marvin Young, Wasim, Christina, Marion, Deb, Tammy, Alex, Vincent, Stephanie, and Leslie Proctor. She had an amazing month, by the way. Last way to go. Closed units for our groups. Campbell Real Estate Team, Michelle Terza's team, the Bolton Real Estate Group, the Pair Off Team, Volpe Alcorn, and the Terry Hastings team. Congratulations to you guys. And written business, top 6 groups, Kirby Chan & Co., Michelle Terz's team, Bolton Real Estate Group, Volpe Alcorn team, the Paroff team, and the Terry Hastings team. Congratulations. There's applause here somewhere. I know there is. Very good. Very good. A little fun, Colin. It's always, I love you know what I love the best? You know, obviously we see some names that are up there all the time. And that's because those agents choose to have a business and choose to have a business that they love and they're very honored to have. But when we get to see some of the new names pop up there, that's amazing.
First close. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that is truly phenomenal. Very good. Very good. Well, we're going to queue up our favorite broker record, Christine Tonis. And you might be our only broker record, but you are our favorite.
I used to say that to all my kids. They were my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Well, I'm going to hand it all over to you, Christine. You take us away. You cue me for the slides. Thanks for everything you do, as always.
Thanks for managing that, Gary. Okay, let's jump in. So if you weren't at the last team meeting, these are some of the things you missed. So there was a part on RICO compliance in advertising. You need to get caught up on that. Make sure your websites, all your social media are dead on because people are looking. And the HST and the sale of short-term rentals. Now, this is of particular concern. So, you know, with all the Airbnbs and, you know, all different platforms now where people are doing short-term rentals, it can affect whether a house being sold or a property being sold is going to have HST applied. So remember, like most houses, HST is included in. This may not be the case. So as a realtor, you really have to ask some important questions. So go back and watch the video. And Gary, the video is on YouTube, I believe, our YouTube channel. And also, I think on our MyKWRC channel. So make sure you go back. Yes, I'm getting a nod. Awesome. And FinTrack, there's 2 more forms that need to be filled out in FinTrack. But what's really important is our brokerage has paid for an app for you that you can download on your phone, take a picture of someone's driver license, and it prompts you to fill out whatever needs to be filled out in FinTrack. And when you're complete, it automatically sends it to the front desk to be uploaded on your behalf. So it keeps you out of trouble. It's been paid for already. You should be using it. And we're looking at some of our agents who use it all the time and are loving it. So really much easier to snap and take a picture than fill out. You know, those forms tend to be pretty long and it's really easy to miss some important things. And the other thing is you have to make yourself educated on the do not call list and be compliant with your emails and people being able to unsubscribe. That compliance part, needs to be done by you every 2 years, and you need to let us know. So that's just what we covered last team meeting. I feel like Rocket Robin Hood, which is really dating me, where you have to go back and you know, look at everything you've done. So if you've missed meetings, and I want to just remind you kindly and firmly that it was in your independent contractor agreement that you attend team meetings, and this is why we want to keep you safe. So let's move on to the next slide. All right, here's my top 5 for the month. Heavy fines at TREB. So that's the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. And I just want to point out that while these are referred to as TREB, we belong to 2 other boards. So the Barrie Board and the Grey Bruce Board. And these fines are universal. So it just doesn't apply to TREB members. They all follow the same principles. They all have very similar fines. So it's not exclusive to TREB. I just happen to sit on the board, which I'm a panelist at these hearings. And so this is where I get to see what's happening and bring it back to you so that you're not paying these fines. So let's move on to the first one. Refresh and remove. We talked about this, I guess probably maybe 2 years ago. So it's Rule 108 where it says that, you know, you cannot change things on your listing. So there was a habit of what was referred to as refreshing. And people would go in and they'd change a comma, and then the next day they'd put it back, or they'd use the word and then take out the and use an ampersand. So it's a fine for doing that, because what it does is it was pushing your listing back up sort of to the top when people review the listings every morning. And it was seen as an unfair advantage, and it was frivolous, and it affected how the stats work. So heavy fines there. I was on a panel member 2 weeks ago. take a look at the fines. Gary, if you could just hit that. So the realtor got charged $6,000 and the brokerage $10,000. There's an asterisk beside the brokerage because sadly, across many, including a lot of brokerages, I'd say almost all brokerages, if you as a realtor incur a fine to the brokerage as a result of some of the actions you're doing, you're paying the brokerage end of that too. So those little tweaks that realtor did and thought they were being really clever in marketing ended up costing them $16,000. So absolutely not worth it. And it's a rule. So just follow rules. Next one, please. MLS not ready for offers. So we're finding this a lot, especially if you're dealing with a board outside of your area and you ask for the brokerage version of the MLS listing. It needs to be ready for an offer. So if things aren't in there, like, is that a rental? Is that a rental water heater? What are the true taxes? Is there a pottle fee? If those things are not in there and someone cannot from the MLS listing write a clear and effective offer, you could be fined. Let's see what they got fined. So it was $1,500 to the realtor and $2,500 to the brokerage. And sometimes you'll see it reversed where the brokerage is the fine is higher and sometimes it will be the realtor. And some of that is determined by, is the brokerage offering training like we're doing today? So are they trying to protect their members? Have they published it somewhere like we're doing today? These are things that we're trying to bring to the forefront so you're not paying fines. Next one, please. Posting for mortgage. And this one I was not ready for when we sat on this hearing. So here's what happens. So if you do an exclusive listing and you sell it exclusively, and the mortgage company might call you, and very often they will, and say, we need, in order for the banks to approve this, we need the actual MLS listing. Well, it's exclusive. There is no MLS listing. So what realtors would do is they post it for a minute and then take it off as sold. What this says is that has to be available for showings and offers. So if you put it on for a minute and take it off, it was never available because it was already sold. And there's a really heavy fine for that. So again, they see it that you're using the MLS system, not for what it was intended, not for the benefit of its membership who pay to be members, but you're using it to make your life easier. So 2 lessons from that is 1, don't do it. And 2, if you are selling exclusively and there is a financial condition on there, make sure it's longer because it will take longer for them to do the work that they have to do. So the bank and the mortgage lender, but you cannot post it and take it down. Let's look at the fines for that. So the realtor was charged $1,000 and the brokerage was charged $1,000. So for that 1 minute it was up, it cost them $2,000. So that's $120,000 for an hour, which is pretty stiff. So not worth it. It's, if you know in advance that this is going to be required, then you know how to prepare for it. So you know if you're taking an exclusive listing and you happen to sell it, that any mortgage situation will require more time. Next, please. Okay, we're going to play the disclosure game. So I would say, I don't know, we get hundreds of calls in a month, broker hotline and myself personally, and most of them, or a lot of them, are around disclosure. What needs to be disclosed, what doesn't. So let's start with that. Okay, so do you have to disclose if there is a violent, and by the way, I want you to answer in the comments, so just kind of test yourself. So do you have to disclose if there is a violent death in or on the property, if it's a stigma, a suicide, or a murder? What are your thoughts? Let's see some answers here. Everybody's afraid to answer. Okay.
Yeah, they'll answer. It might just take a sec for them to catch up to us, but I like this. And the next number of questions that Christine has, get on them and answer it into the comments. They're good. Okay, now we're seeing lots of answers, Christine.
Okay. So guess what? You don't have to disclose, but there is a caveat to that. So, and by the way, I taught this to a whole bunch of brokers who were not aware of this. So you do not have to disclose. A few things with that. Stigma is a really undefined term. So what may be a stigma to you is not a stigma to me. So for me, if someone passed away on the property, it would not bother me. It would bother someone else. So you cannot guarantee stigma. so that you do not have to disclose. Legally, you do not have to disclose. But if you are asked, you have to tell the truth. So what you need to do is preface all this with a conversation with your seller and say, look, this is up to you. You can disclose this or you cannot disclose it. But if you're not going to disclose it, we are asked, we have two choices. So we can say, I can't answer that, which is true. You can't. You've been instructed legally by your client not to answer it, so you can't answer it. You could strike it off of an offer without explanation, or you could speak to your client and say, I'd like permission, if asked, to be forthright with this and let people know. But I'm going to ask you to this. Get that in writing from your client that they have given you express permission to disclose this, right? Because it's a privacy issue. So do you have to disclose? No, but that's all with a caveat. Okay, next one. Side agreements. Do you have to disclose if you've reduced your commission with double ending? So I want you to be really careful about thinking about this one. So if you're double ending and you're acting for the buyer, maybe you don't disclose there, but are you disclosing on the seller end? Are you reducing your commission on the seller end? And do you have to disclose? So the answer is yes. Yes, 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 you have to disclose. And you have to disclose in a very particular way. So if you're reducing a 2.5% commission by 1%, you have to disclose that you have reduced it by 1%. You have to disclose if you are acting for both parties. So acting and representing are two different things. So even if you're under a customer service agreement with your buyer, which I would recommend if they're just doing a side call, you're really not representing them and you're not giving them data, you're not advising them. You can provide data, but they have to come to their own conclusions. So do you have to disclose? That's a hard yes. And RICO's coming down very hard on people who are not disclosing if they have side agreements or they've reduced their commissions. So all you guys did that really well. Do you have to disclose interest in a property? So that means if you're selling, if you're buying personally, for yourself, for your spouse, for your aunt second time removed, do you have to disclose that someone that you are representing in either the purchase or the sale or yourself, do you have to disclose that you're a realtor? How they doing?
Yeah, seeing some answers come in here. And this is even like if my mother owns a property that I'm going to list, for instance. Those are all the scenarios we're talking about here,
yeah,
right?
Your mother, your cousin. I mean, I disclosed that my ex-sister-in-law, who has not been my sister-in-law for 32 years, that we were related. It can't hurt. This is never going to hurt you to disclose this, but it will hurt you if you don't.
If you don't, yeah. Lots of great answers, because they're all yes. That's correct. Yeah. That's correct. I like the next one that you have for us, Christine. I love this one.
Yeah. Okay. Do you disclose basement used to leak? It's now repaired. Do you have to disclose that? I know that's a tough one. Okay. So here's the answer. No, you don't have to disclose that. It's not an issue anymore. However, again, if you are asked specifically, and there are clauses that say, were there any leaks ever? So if you've done that repair and you have proof of that repair, you should keep it handy because you want to dispel any concerns. There's certain people that only deal with cracks and leaks, and they're very good, and they provide a guarantee and a warranty that can be passed on to the next buyer. So it's not something that's happened. You don't have to disclose. If asked, you have to be honest. I think that is the overarching rule in all the disclosures. If you are asked, you have to be honest, or you can answer, I can't say, right? But make sure you discuss all these things with your clients and make sure that they're very aware of it. Speaking of disclosures, so I just want to, you don't have to change slides, but when we talked about you disclosing your relationship, that has to be done before an offer. If you're on the listing side, it should be mentioned in the brokerage remarks and it should be posted. The actual disclosure form should be posted. If you need a disclosure form, so I know that a lot of you are doing offers really quick and you need me to sign something quickly. They are already pre-signed and on the MyKWRC website. So you can just go down there, download it, fill in the rest of how you are related, etc. So they're there available for you right away. So you can get on with your awesome offers. Yeah, Yes, that's Nathan. Okay, next. Do you have to disclose how many offers are registered? I think this one's an easy one for everybody, and everybody's going to answer yes. So here's the thing about that. There's a little bit of hidden stuff there. So you have to be careful that people are giving you offers, that the offers are registered. Don't assume they've registered it. With our broker-based system, super easy to get in there, register it for them on their behalf. Our front desk, when they're open, is happy to do that for you as well. But make sure the offers are registered. Here's where people have gotten caught. So it says specifically that you have to disclose how many offers are registered to anyone who showed an interest. This is where people get caught. If you showed the property to a private buyer, so your customer or your client or whatever, you have to inform them that there are registered offers. So they're not on the broker-based system. So you have to keep them informed of how many offers there are, unless you get something in writing where they say, I'm not interested, don't send me any more, and I don't want to get all these updates. So just remember that. So we had someone get caught on that. It didn't seem like an obvious. But if you've shown the property, they are an interested property. They showed up, you showed them the property, they are interested. So make sure they're kept informed as well of how many registered offers there are. All right, this one's a good one. There's a pet cemetery going in next door. Do you have to disclose that? So future development, future things going on, do you have to disclose that? Again, this is a little bit more on the gray side, but I believe that our position should be, and I think Marvin can probably speak to this in a bit as well, and Colin, Gary as well, your input is always welcome. It could affect property value, and that's where RICO says if there's something that affects property value, you should probably disclose. So, we used to have a rule which was disclose, disclose, disclose. Some of that has been sort of drop down to a higher priority, but you have to really look at what people are saying and potentially why they're buying a property. So do your homework, make sure you know what's going on, have a conversation with your seller. So yeah, the pet cemetery, obviously there could be 1,000 things, a plaza going in, a high-rise building, which is going to block the sun. There's 1,000 things that could be. If there's a sign across the street that says coming soon, and there's a thing for a plaza, it's not your job to disclose it. It's evident. But this can be looked at as a latent defect by not disclosing, even though it's not a defect with the property. Do you have to disclose if there is a non-conforming carport with no permits taken by the previous owner? So it's already gone through one sale. Do you have to disclose that? So the answer there is a hard yes, because this will come back to bite your sellers. Just because the permits weren't taken at the time and it got through one sale doesn't mean it won't come back and bite the new owners. And if it comes back to bite them and they have to tear down that carport, guess who they're going after? It will be you. It will be you and your client, and it will be a very expensive thing. So, carport, you can take that to illegal basements, in addition, sometimes people put up an entire barn or structure that doesn't have permits. Be aware of what that property has and potential. We ran into this in a property in Aurora where a lot of the owners had sort of added on a laundry room to the side of the building, and almost nobody took out permits. Did it slide by? For the most part, yes. But if it doesn't, and that comes back to bite, guess what's biting? And I believe that's it. Okay, so my number 3, there were 5. We're at the number 3. Real quick, we talked about that FinTracker app. Go to your app store it's free. Go to your app store on your phone, download it. Front desk is being trained on how to help you through that. So if you're having an issue with it, bring your phone in. The important thing to remember is it will ask you for the brokerage phone number. Use the Newmarket phone number. So 905-895-5972. So that's how to register that. And that's so it automatically goes to our great assistants who upload to command, so you don't have to. Okay, number 4. So, COVID's a sensitive topic. And we're not here to judge whatever your stand is. We support you, whatever your beliefs are, as long as you stay within the protocols established by the government and different health organizations. But what we've been able to do is secure 500 self-administered tests. So in the course of being a realtor, there are times you're going to get exposed to things that you may be a little bit concerned about. So we have them in all our offices, including all our remote offices, and there are stations being set up. They should be set up within the next 2 days. And you can come in and ask the front desk, if you can go on to next slide, you can get a kit from the front desk. So the kit will have 3 elements in it. It'll have a swab, it'll have the little, it'll have a little tube where the chemicals are to take the cells from the swab, and then you would drop those chemicals into a little tester kit. So get those from the front desk. You can go into, we've got it, they will be set up in the back rooms for you to do discreetly. Number 2, please. So there's the test. It's 5 little circles around each nostril. It isn't the deep one to the back of your skull. It's real easy. Next. And you'll just relay the results to our reception desk. So here's what the government has asked us. In order to give us 500 free, the requirement was really simple. So all they want us to report back to them is how many tests were given and what the results were. The results are not tied to a person. So there were 5 tests taken, 5 were negative. That's all we have to report. We have to report it every Monday so we can continue to get these tests. Number 4, and then when you're done, just dispose. We've put the medical disposal units there. So you just dispose of that little test that looks like a pregnancy test, drop it in there, give everything a wipe with the disinfectant, and you're done. So, you know, we're going to expand this. Now think of the conversation that you could have with a seller who maybe is a little bit uncomfortable about an open house. We are going to be looking at, can we make these available to you to have at open houses? So perhaps a little table outside, they do a 15-minute swab, they prove they're good, you can let them through that person's house with comfort. So we're looking at that aspect of it right now, but right now, pardon me, in the next few days, it's going to be available for our realtors. And Wednesdays will be Broker of Record Wednesday. So starting at 10 o'clock, I will be meeting with new agents who perhaps want to do a trial offer. You have to pre-register with the front desk just so I know how many people are coming, but this will be every Wednesday other than when we have a team meeting like today or when Ignite is running, because you'll get that training and more at Ignite. But we just don't want you to have a gap where you don't feel like you're getting the training you need. You're a new agent, you know, you don't know how to put up a listing, all those things. You know, we'll review offers. We'll just go through, you know, 5 or 6 of the really basic requirements of being a realtor and getting some practice. You'll see some houses, you know, make appointments, go see some houses, come back, tell us about it. We'll have you write an offer. So we'll do some trials there. And it's a really great opportunity for you, if you have questions, to come and visit with me. And so we're going to do that every Wednesday. Ta-da! We're done.
We're done. I love it, Christine. As always, thank you so much for, you know, not only the hard work, but the time and the research that goes behind a lot of this. I know firsthand, it's not sitting down for 5 minutes and putting together some research. It's a tremendous amount of time, and we're so thankful to have you and share your knowledge. So thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, let's thank you for your commitment in helping our business grow, our agents grow their business. Your relentless pursuit of protecting our agents as well. Thank you. Truly appreciate it.
I have been described as a pit bull with lipstick. So yeah.
Very good. Very good. Well, guess what time it is? Our little market intel IMS stats. Marv, you ready?
I'm ready.
There we go. There we go. I hear it's bright where you are.
You know, you guys are so bright, I got to wear shades. What can I tell you? You know, when you said that Omar was coming on, I thought it was the shoe guy, right? So I'm all really excited about the shoe guy, but I was even more excited about the stock guy. It was good. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it reminded me of a joke. See, why, I'm in Florida, right? So it's a kind of a Florida joke. Why don't seagulls No. Why do seagulls only fly over the sea?
Why?
Because if they flew over the bay, they would be bagels. See, now that's a joke you can tell the kid. I know. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's awesome. Woo! Yeah.
Beautiful. So, excuse me. I got to share with you. Trying to, have fun and all that kind of stuff while hosting, and Marv the whole time holding up little notes to us in the background. I'm like falling off my chair trying to keep somewhat of a straight face. I love it though. It's all good.
So here's one I was holding up for Gary. Gary, you have pants on. Yeah.
And
see, it's all good.
I'm still sitting. Okay.
My time for today, but I want to thank you all so much. That's no. We got to look at some serious business, man. The stats. Let's take a look at this. This is awesome. So this is for all of the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. So all the TREB, almost 60,000 members. Keller Williams, a company at large, continues to hold first position in sold versus asked. And look at that. I mean, they were 2% ahead of the nearest competition. So again, use that when you have any commission discussions that come up whatsoever. If you're charging 1% more than our competition, theoretically, you're still saving your clients 1%. Pretty cool, right? So it's important to know the stats and use them correctly. Let's see what else we got here. Days on market. Wow, look at that. Direct correlation, I've said it for many, many years, between days on market and sold versus ask price. So 11.4 days, way faster than our competition. And again, factoring in that probably 7 of those days were the time that you're holding offers until offer date. So we're probably more like 4 days. All right, what do we got? Agent product. Okay, decimal points don't matter. They really don't matter. It's like a detail that's kind of like no big deal. But every year we're neck and neck with RE/MAX in terms of productivity per agent. And we typically both end up somewhere in the 9 point something range. And we still have some time to go because these stats are till end of October. But you can see we vastly outperform all other companies. Okay, so we got new market sold versus asked. Well, if you just look at the major brokerages, so look, here we are, 107%. You know what's interesting too? We show everything. We always do. We show whether we're first, second, fifth, 10th, doesn't matter. Because if we're not in first, there's opportunity to improve. And when we are in first, there's opportunity to improve. So at 107%, let's call it, that's quite remarkable. And compliments to all of our colleagues at different brokerages as well. Because look, I mean, we're averaging some big numbers for our clientele right now. So really good stuff.
And Marv, I looked at this to the previous month because I wanted to see what was different. And here's what was different. We actually had an increase. Yes. And interesting enough, the number one brokers there wasn't on the list last month. So what I like to see there is our consistency, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? So if you did look at that, you would probably see that we are edging up and we continue to do that. So it's good. Yeah, it's a great point, Gary. So you do have pants on. Good job. Okay, so here's our market share. It's been, it's a little skewed, and I'm saying this very respectfully because I don't want to take away from the people at Right at Home Realty. However, Right at Home Realty is one entity that I can't delineate just the new market location. So all of Right at Home's locations combine into that new market stat. Whereas everybody else on that list, whether it's RE/MAX, Royal LePage, Century 21, or us, that's our locations based in New Market. So we are technically first. There's no way to prove that. And I didn't want to exclude Right at Home from the chart. But I mean, basically, over 14% of all listings sold in New Market happen through our office. Pretty cool. Yeah. Days on market, middle of the pack at 13.5. Again, all great numbers. That's more like 6 days, so that's pretty good. Aurora, days sold versus asked, excuse me. So we are first in sold versus asked. Aurora is a really different animal, if you will. What's quite interesting about Aurora is that it really boils down to 3, if you want to put it that way, maybe 4 brokerages doing the vast majority of the business. It's a pretty closed town. So we broke into it a little while ago, and we're doing extremely well. So we are first in sold versus asked. Next slide will show that our market share is 25% flat. So 1 out of every 4 homes there is sold by Keller Williams. Great number. So
And
we're steering with
so-
Remax.
Yeah, and it interrupt again. That was another increase over last month,
That
Marv.
was probably the biggest single increase, if I recall correctly, right, Gary? I think were we at like 22 or 23% last month, something like that.
Yeah.
So really, really good. So yeah, I mean, excellent numbers for sure. Days on market, we're first. And you know, as the winter months approach, what I would be explaining to my clientele is not only is there a direct correlation between days on market and sold versus asking, but there's the whole humanitarian component to it. When you're bundling up the kids and the dog and you're leaving for virtually a whole day in the snow because you've got showings every half an hour or something, every day feels like a week. So when you can knock off 4 or 5 days off the process, it's huge. So I would be explaining it that way to my clientele. Hey, nice to see you too, Steph, in the comments. I just saw it. See, it's awesome. Okay. Woo! Agent productivity by units. We are still the most productive company in Aurora. All we need is what? Tell me, Colin.
Agents. That's it.
Yeah, more agents.
More
That's
agents.
it. Yeah, that's it. I know I put you on the spot.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, more agents. That's it. Okay.
We need seagulls.
Okay, sorry?
We need seagulls.
We need seagulls. Yeah, exactly. Okay, sold versus asked. Here we are at almost 109% in Georgina. Again, great numbers for all of the companies across the board, indicative of what's happening in the market, right? Let's take a look at the next one. We're kind of in the middle as well in terms of market share. Again, Georgina is the opposite of Aurora. Very different animal in that you'll notice at the very bottom, almost 50% of all of the sales in Georgina are spread out over all others. Yeah. So it's a very mixed bag. Now, the geography of Georgina is so much bigger that it's going to lend itself to that happening versus Aurora that's quite closed, right? So that could be the reason why. All right. Days on market, right in the middle again at 15.5 days. So once again, I think you'd knock 7 days or so off of that, and you're about a week to sell a house with us in Georgina.
Beautiful. This is the slide I love as well. These slides here, Marv.
Yeah, they're cool. So we started doing this around 3 or 4 months ago. And honestly, it was done just to say, hey, I wonder how some of our guys are doing. And it became quite interesting to see how many of our people are in the top 15. You got to remember, there's hundreds of realtors in, let's say, for example, Newmarket. And to be in the top 15, you're cracking a pretty big nut, right? Because that's out of all companies. Let's take a look. So, Volpe Alcorn, number 3 in all of Newmarket. Stuart Madden tied for 9th. Michelle Terza's team tied for 12th. Wayne Clements, number 15. And I think, by the way, Stuart might be the top individual. I got to double check that, but that's what I recall. So, pretty cool stats for Newmarket, right? Aurora, more names. Kirby Chan, number 2. Wasim is tied, number 3, with Vincent and I thought with someone else too. Oh, no. Colin, spelled correctly, number 4. Michael Tuff tied for number 7. The Silbernagels, Dylan and Cease tied for 9th. Steph, just because you said nice to see me, you're tied for 13th with Marion Carconi. Awesome. John Brock came out of nowhere. Boom. Tied for 15th. Look how many names are on that list. Pretty cool. All right? Pretty cool. All right. Georgina. No, we didn't forget about you. Stevie Peroff team, number 4. And I think we got a Volpe Alcorn squeaking in there, tied for 10th. Super cool. How about East Quill? There it is. Boom. Volpe Alcorn. Not a typo. They're there again.
Not a typo. Hang on. We need a drum roll. I wish I had one. How about this one? There we go.
Come on now. Tied for 9th. Doing only Florida properties in East Gwillimbury, like those seniors' homes you roll in on wheels. But hey, they're adding up. Tied for 9th. Yeah. So that's pretty much it as far as that's concerned. Any questions for me?
I like it. I like it.
Amazing. And Marv, thank you again for doing this and sharing this with us. It's always great to get your insight on it. And it's great recognition for our agent partners who are just doing tremendous work in these areas. So kudos.
Awesome. Thank you. And I want to take a minute just to say that honestly, the way this team meeting is being run, it's miles ahead of anything I've ever seen. Like, kudos to to you, Gary, and to Colin, and to all those involved. You guys are bringing this at a really, really high level. It's quite amazing, you know. Look, I got Christmas lights right over me.
New tattoo. All right.
I should back up a bit. No, it's really quite phenomenal. And just want to say thank you and say to everybody, it's great to see everyone doing so well. And congratulations to all. That's wonderful.
Thank you, Marv. Appreciate it.
Awesome. As always, Marv, thank you. So happy that you were here to celebrate this with us. And we're going to wrap up with, I think, one more slide here, Colin. And that's, you know, some of these can't miss events. First off, I'm just going to throw them all up here. There we go. Yes, December 8th with Omar and the Wealth Mastery Volume 2 there, Colin. I know you're passionate about seeing our agents increase their wealth, and here's just another way that they can do so. And then something that we came up with, in fact, we named it yesterday, but we knew we were going to do it for a little while now, and that's KWRC 2022 Broker Vision. What is that, you ask? Well, we're gonna celebrate some of the things that we've done in 2021, and then talk about the things that we're gonna do, just like our business planning clinic, but for a brokerage, the things that we're gonna do for 2022. So that'll be a live stream on December 16th. Look forward to that. And then we couldn't end this meeting with saying thank you to Steph Sauvé, and of course her partnership with Carrie Rutledge at YRP and the Holiday Heroes. Really, your partnership with them and supporting all the families that are in a time of need during this time of year. And we know it's bigger than that. It's bigger than just those families. And we're encouraging you to support that. But if you've got other things that you're supporting, we are so thankful that you're doing that. And this is a great time of year, but it's also a time of year that we as realtors and leaders in our communities, we have that opportunity to give back. So I'll end with that. Give back to your community over the next month, and we'll see everybody on the next team meeting. Thanks for everyone that joined us. Nathan, Stevie, of course, Christine, Omar, and Marv. And I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Oh yeah, Colin. That's it for me. Any closing words, Colin?
On behalf of our leadership team, to everyone, thank you so much. We will be doing vision, like you said. We're wrapping up the year, but also planning what 2022 will look like. So I'm excited to share that with you, with the brokerage. But as a formal team meeting, this is it for the year. On behalf of our leadership team, thank you so much. Enjoy.
Bye for now.